game, and I was quite pleased with the way I concentrated.
Well, congratulations. It really was a pleasure to watch, and he has to do a few more of those.
Thank you very much, Tony.
Thanks, Tony. And just to underline what a job David Boone did, there's his 184 recorded for all time. 48 to border, good innings from him. That outstanding opening partnership between Marsh and Boone got Australia underway. 2 for 328, and the bowling figures for England, they really struggled out there. It was a fine Australian performance against the same bowling attack that bowled them out in the first innings for just 214, a wicket to Capel and one to John Embury.
TEXACO Trophy, that's the first of 3 one-day internationals between England and the West Indies. As well as the magnificent trophy, there's a team prize of £4,000 and lots of individual prizes along the way. Now, this is a 55-over-a-side competition, and here we have the teams for you. Now, the England team was greeted with great criticism in the press, and it was based mainly on the World Cup squad of last winter. Derek Pringle retains the place there, and the second spinner, Hemmings, is excluded on this occasion, and Monty Lynch comes in for his first international match. And West Indies, well, 3 of the big fast bowlers, Marshall, Ambrose and Walsh, and then a little medium pace with Hooper, and Viv Richards also to help out with Roger Harper, the off-spinner. The toss was won by Mike Gatting. There might have been some moisture in the pitch in the early morning. Well, whatever. Mike Gatting decided to ask West Indies to bat, and we'll join the match. The very first ball, De Freitas is bowling to Greenwich.
Must be very, very close. What a start to the one-day internationals. That must have been a whisker away. The non-striker is Phil Simmons. Lovely stroke player by repute, Trinidad and Tobago, 24 years of age. First runs for the West Indies. Graham Dilley is the fielder down at long leg. Great day for Monty Lynch. Be a few nerves out there, even though he's not being called on to bat as first requirement, with the chance to run around, get rid of a few of the nerves. There's a nice way to start off the first English tour. Lovely stroke from Simmons. That was a great piece of bowling from Dilley.
Yes, I think just a little bit different bounce as well. Not bouncing quite as high as the previous 2 deliveries. It does look as if there's just that little bit of variable bounce, particularly at that far end.
Well, that's a good stroke. He was aiming perhaps to hit it a bit squarer than that.
Yes, we're definitely going down that leg side, and Simmons certainly plays a stroke ball, there's no doubt about that. If it's pitched up, the bat will go flashing through.
2 for no wicket. 3.5 overs gone. It's very exciting stuff for the spectators. Won't be so exciting for the bowlers. Well, that's a great shot. It was quite a good delivery, and he smashed it straight over mid-on's head.
Well, I said I've seen this fella before, and he just plays shot a ball, but this was a great stroke of Graham Dilley, who's bowling pretty quick. But he got his foot down the wicket a bit better that time, and straight over mid-on.
The established opening partnership is that of Greenwich and Haynes. Desmond Haynes not fit for this game. There is a great record. 95 innings, almost 4,000 runs, The only ones ahead of Gordon Greenwich are Alan Border, Javed Miandad, Desmond Haynes and Vivian Richards. Richards having made most runs, almost 6,000. Now that should be out. Yes, Alan Lamb. And that looked to me as though it cut a little bit from leg to off. It could be the problem area for Phil Simmons, but my word, it could also be very entertaining. He's made 22 out of the total of 34 for 1, and Gordon Greenwich is 12.
There you can see both the feet together, the bat going through towards mid-wicket, and anything moving out then is going to cause him problems. Alan Lamb there just poised and making no mistake.
.34 for 1, and here's Dilly.
There's a great shot from Greenwich. Ball to mid-wicket.
Richie Richardson. So he's put on a little bit of weight since I last saw him. Very talented player.
Now the first bowling change, Warwickshire's Gladstone Small to bowl from the City end. Streaky, but perfectly safe. That's the 50, which has come off just 67 deliveries. Oh, he's bowled it. Good delivery. Gladstone Small there. And some fairly relieved congratulations, I think. It was a very useful delivery which caught Gordon Greenwich in no man's land, and that's the end of the opener for 18.
Well, an absolute trimmer this, and the lucky thing is it just stayed down at bail height. Perhaps that's what beat Greenwich. Didn't perhaps bounce quite as much as he thought. Started to come forward, then was defending, and the ball just crept through, nipped into him, and clipped the top of the off.
Well, that's what you get if you get somebody out. Eventually this man has to come in, Viv Richards. This angle, just as Ted said, just clipping the top of the off stump, and one of those which your day as a batsman nips by, and if it's not, well, off you go. And that unbeaten 189 is top of the record books. Dilly to bowl to Richards. Well, whether or not he heard the shout in time, who knows, but it was a really dismissive shot over the top of mid-on. Well, there is Richards, top of that particular shot and a few more. Well, what a start. Mike Gatting keeping the ring and just hoping he can frustrate, but it's a fairly impressive start, Ted.
Well, you see, he's dominated Dilly, really, without hardly having to throw the bat. I mean, Dilly has bowled a couple of balls out there they wouldn't have bowled to anybody else, which has just taken command just by his sheer presence. An awful short ball first, and then a nice big half volley.
Well, 4-4-4. The great man just turned his back and didn't even bother to look where it went. come in and hit them in the middle like that. There's one happy man. And there's another.
Well, these last 2 strokes, simply brilliant, because that wasn't that short, and Richards has come forward, put the foot across, but still is in perfect position to middle it through middle. So suddenly 66 for 2 off 12. So that's a high striking rate over 5.
And there we see Graham Dilley suffering the most punishment, and well, with 4 no balls, some people would say why not. Oh, what a magnificent catch. Marvellous catch there by John Embury, and well, that was a great catch. And then even a great player like Richards comes in to throw the bat right from the word go, and there he is disappointed, because straight off the middle, as all his shots have been, John Embury there picking out a magnificent catch. That's Gladstone Small, two vital wickets in 4 balls, 2 out of the 3. Small to bowl to the new batsman. Oh, the streaky one which beats Dilley there for 4.
Well, that was very lucky for Gus Logie, because these inside edges from outside there, they so often go onto the stumps, and that's just scraped by the off stump. A real bit of luck there. I think actually it missed leg, which is even more remarkable. And it's gone for the runs.
Yes, he wasn't very far forward. Not too sure that Richardson liked it as much as Pringle. But it did defeat what was rather a tentative little forward push from Richie Richardson. And the 4th wicket goes down.
Well, the leg has gone right across, and then he's almost sort of withdrawn it again in a funny sort of move. He's sitting very low down and very straight. Look at the wicket-keeper, he wasn't going down leg side.
John Embury to bowl to Hooper. And there's a lovely little sweep from Hooper. That's 4 runs. Beautifully timed shot.
The England bowlers, Freitas 5 overs for 19 and Dilley 6 for 41 and a wicket. Gladstone Small 7 overs for 19 and 2 wickets. Embury 4 for 17. Great shot. Beautiful stroke by Gus Logie. Just about the shot of the morning.
Yes, you won't see any better shots than that. Only a little man, but tremendous power off the back foot there, and the ball really speeding away through the cover boundary.
It's in the air, but it's safe, just over Gatting's head. Didn't quite get it off the meat of the bat, but it's good enough for 4 runs for Carl Hooper.
So Hooper's been the quieter of these 2 batsmen, going for his shot here in the field and getting away with it. Very clean stroke. He's a very simple, clean player. Nice straight swing of the bat.
There's a big hit. Just 4 runs. And had the pitch been in its usual place, that might well have been 6, because there's a disparity of the boundaries of some 8 yards with this pitch set off centre. Lovely pull. And that's the 50, which is helped West Indies back into a much better position than they were when Carl Hooper came in. 167 for 4. And already worth 95. And there it is. Embury. Gladstone Small's done it again.
Well, Gladstone did the right thing, pitched the ball up. The Freitas and Dilly have both pitched short and cut and pulled. He's pitched it up, so he's bowled to his field, and it's gone straight down Embury's throat.
Logie on 49. And the other batsmen around him have played some dazzling strokes, but they've also got out, and he hasn't. And really large amount of credit to him for giving West Indies something of a platform for an onslaught in these last vital 10 overs. There's the 50. 174 for 5. And a good 50, an invaluable 50. His side in all sorts of trouble when he came to the crease at 66 for 3. To Logie. And got him. Beautiful catch by Downton. Logie just couldn't believe that his innings had finally come to an end. Fine innings, 180 for 6. Logie caught by Downton for 51, and despite the absence of a slip,
well, it's a bit wide and going wider, and Logie just threw the bat at it. Downton taking off there, a marvellous catch. The ball bounced a nice height for him. It wasn't too low. If it had been low to the ground, he would probably have struggled to get there. But shoulder high, and that's Logie gone for 51. A very fine innings there by
Gladstone Small's 4th wicket. You know your luck's in when there's no slip, and a keeper can do that. Small to Harper. The mark straight away. Another man who's no slouch between the wickets, but the outfielding has been good, tight. The men with the best arms have been deployed in the best places. There's one of them, Philip de Freitas.
I don't think the England batsmen will appreciate that too much. They've got up from just short of a length. Got through. That's a valuable wicket because West Indies haven't quite reached 200 in this, the 51st over. That was the last ball of that over, and the last ball of Embury's 10th. He now has 1 for 44.
a fine piece of bowling by John Embury. He's got the ball right up in the block hole, leg stump, 2 or 3 balls is over, and again the same thing. Harper trying to make a bit of room for himself on the offside, but just John Embury getting that ball through and under the bat there. Fine piece of bowling there.
Roger Harper out for 4. Bowled by Embury, faced just 10 balls. 195 for 7. Margaret Marshall is the new batsman, joining Geoffrey Dujon, who's 16. Gladstone Small is the fielder. The 200 comes up for West Indies. The end of Freitas' 10th over.
Mr. Timothy Pemberton go immediately to the...
Again. It slipped, mate. He might have been a bit lucky not to be called for wide there down the leg side. Graham Dilley had 64 taken from his 11 overs. He had 41 taken from the first 6. He's the really expensive one in the England attack, but he did come back well in the second spell. Well, it's not the sort of one you want, but Alan Lamb is in good catching form. He's already taken one today, that makes 2. Main problem is to pick it up early on. Michael Marshall got a full toss from Dilley, now has been dismissed by one from Philip de Freitas. 209 for 8.
I think Malcolm Marshall might be saying sorry it slipped once or twice where things are going on. But he got quite a top edge. It really went tremendously high, and Alan Lamb there waiting very coolly for it. No problem at all. Very good feeling indeed, Alan.
Curtly Ambrose now facing Philip de Freitas. Brave run, but he doesn't need many strides to get down to the other end.
Been very tight. If it hit, in fact, possibly may have just got the benefit there.
John Embry to Curtly Ambrose. And that's the end for Curtly. John Embry has taken the 9th wicket in the West Indian innings. Good quicker ball. 212 runs on the board. We're into the last over. And Courtney Walsh will be the final batsman.
This is the advantage of bowling close to the wicket. You can bowl wicket to wicket on line, full length. Ambrose trying to play the way to square leg and result the middle stump there back. Again, fine bowling there by John Embry. Very, very full length. There's no way you're going to hit that too far.
Embry to Walsh. .17 for 9, 1 ball to go in this innings. All out, West Indies. Walsh having called Dujon through to what was really an impossible single. Good throw from Downton. 217 West Indies. Dujon making 27, and Walsh remained 2 not out. England need 280 in to win. And good quick work from Downton. And a nice stroke.
So 217 off the 55 overs, 218 for England to win the match. And I just wonder if the West Indians in their dressing room have thought they might have sold it on a little bit longer. Carl Hooper holding out for 51 at long off, when he just might have held together the tail end assault with Jeff Dujon. But England bowled well, let's be fair. The medium pace seamers did best of all. It seemed to be suited much better than the faster ones. De Freitas 1 for 45, but just look at the figures. Gladstone Small 4 for 31, and Derek Pringle 11 overs, only 26 runs conceded and 1 wicket, which left England requiring, when they went into bat, 218 of 55 overs and the run rate just under 4. So when England went out to bat, it was Gooch and Broad and great expectations of a good start. We'll join it now in the second over. The score was 9 for no wicket, and Courtney Walsh is bowling to Graham Gooch.
And there, a vintage Gooch shot, pushed away through mid-wicket. He chased there, but it's the shorter boundary, and 4 runs. These are important moments of the match, because if Gooch and Broad can withstand this new ball with Malcolm Marshall as the other seamer, and then 22 overs to come from Hooper, Richards and Harper, that's more comfortable. Gooch, lovely shot, flicked off his hips there, beautifully timed, and 4 runs.
Gooch at his best here. Even they'd gone on the front foot, he waited for it, turned the bat and timed it absolute treat, straight through mid-wicket for 4.
Viv Richards bowling to Broad.
Well, Malcolm Marshall looked one way, then the other. Where is it? There it isn't, and 4 runs was the answer. Completely lost it. It came off Broad's bat. Smiles all the way round, out of the crowd at the far end, not from the background of the side screen. Where did it go? That's the 50 partnership. Broad and Gooch both in the 20s. It's gone off 68 balls compared with the West Indies, who got there in 1 less. But no wickets down for England.
West Indies have gone out to 3-1. Plenty of time yet for the West Indies, but England so far have lived up to their reputation they've gained in recent limited overs internationals against the Caribbean side. Oh, what a blinder! What a blinder! That's typical of the brilliant fielding the West Indies can produce. He's just lurking there at first slip, the only slip.
Yes, Broad just following that, a little bit wide, but with a marvellous catch. He went for it with 2 hands, but I think at the death he just caught it in his left hand. I think the surprising thing in this West Indian is that Malcolm Marshall, in fact, didn't get the new ball. You do feel that if he could have bowled early on and maybe knocked a couple of wickets over, it would have been so much easier for the inexperienced West Indies bowlers. But Viv Richards chose to let the two youngsters, or the younger players, have the new ball. And Walsh conceded 31 in his first few overs, and I think that really got England off to a flyer. But since Malcolm Marshall's come back in, it does look a slightly different game. You see Greenwich here, and I think he does actually just catch this in his left hand. He goes for it with both, trying to get there with both. But I think it just went straight into that left hand at the finish. Marvellous catch.
I think, Ray, where Viv Richards is under pressure is that with Ambrose and Marshall and Walsh only really as wicket takers, all the others are support bowlers, aren't they? And there's still plenty of overs to come from that quarter.
Yes, I think this was his problem, whether to give Marshall the new ball or not. If he'd have used Marshall for 6 or 7 overs to start with, he had no experienced bowler with any pace who could block it up later on if England got off to a good start.
It's a good shot from Gatting. That's 4 runs. There's a great shot. 4 runs.
Well, that was Mike Gatting absolutely at his best. He's good at striking square on the offside, off the front foot. And he just hit straight through that, hit it on the up, and middled it, timed it, nobody moved.
Which leaves exactly 100 needed to win. Dressing rooms always have little landmarks, and they'll be pleased when it's 2 figures instead of 3. That takes it down to 99, so another little psychological trick for England. Really, apart from that tear-away first 45 minutes or so this morning, they've been in control. Run rate under 4. It isn't so desperately unfortunate for them if it rises above it with all the wickets in hand at the moment. Oh, and that's out. There's a good delivery. Graham Gooch, having played the anchor role, 43 out of 119 for 2 in the 30th over. His delivery just about holding up and squaring Gooch up. A fairly straightforward catch there into the slips. Harper taking it. There's Gooch's figures. Those boundaries came early on, and after that he settled down to guide England into what is still an extremely strong position. And a big round of applause from this crowd for the New England batsman. And it's Monty Lynch.
Monty Lynch.
Replacement of Harper, and Richards now, having made 1 breakthrough, is looking for another, and back comes Courtney Walsh. Oh, this could be trouble. And Lynch out. Well, what a disastrous start to an international career. Poor Monty Lynch, looking for the run that was never there. Gatting, no fault of his. Just a time, Ted, when nerves eventually won. What a sad figure that is.
Well, there was an easy single here. It's gone down there and wanted Lynch to set off, but it presumably didn't say much because Gatting never moved. Absolutely never moved, and Lynch had gone a long way without even looking to see whether Gatting was coming. So I suppose it was a bit of a sort of just nervous reaction. Yes, well, there's one there any day of the week, except at a rather critical time in your first international.
Yes, we don't know what the calling was, but had it been a very distinct and immediate yes, then presumably Gatting would either have responded or given him a firm no, and the distance that he went down the pitch suggests that one or other certainly was a little too quiet. So here's one of England's best one-day cricketers, Alan Lamb. Well, that rate just inching above 4. Oh, and there, Gatting taking full advantage, just the sort of thing Richards didn't want. It created a lot of pressure with those wickets. Tight over from Hooper, and then suddenly just a long hop from Walsh, which Gatting says, thank you very much. 4 runs. England just stuttering a little after a extremely solid start. There's an overthrow and a hell of a tangle there. My word, Gatting had to be quick. Well, there's been some hesitation in the running between Lamb and Gatting.
So this was just a Richards having a go at the stumps, just for fun almost. Hit the stumps, and then suddenly, no, he's up in the air. Has he hit the stumps yet?
Hooper has struck. Now that is danger for England. Alan Lamb just trying to ease that away through the gully area. The stroke favoured by Logie earlier in the day. And he's the 4th wicket down.
Well, that does seem to be a bit of a waste, this one. Because it was just a little straight ball there, and Alan Lamb's tried to do a bit too much with it. Tried to nick it away in the slip area. So this game is coming alive all the time, and it's a rather nervous England who are cruising along quite happily, and suddenly with run-outs and a few unusual attempts to score, they're getting themselves in a bit of a muddle. So this gentle little off-spin from Carl Hooper. It doesn't turn, it beats the outside edge of the bat and hits the off stump.
And he's just desperately disappointed with that. Desperately disappointed.
Well, more run-out problems this time. It's Pringle who's gone down the pitch. And Mike Gatting wasn't going anywhere. Then Pringle slipped. Now he's struggling to get back. Ball just missed, and it was Harper's hands which dislodged the stumps.
It's given that a tremendous clout. Wasn't all that bad a delivery either. And Pringle has got it away, and he's relieved some of the tension out there.
Well, I think the prospect of taking any more singles was too much. So he thought I'd better get a 4 and be done with it.
Richards is reasoning that he must get another wicket now. He's brought Marshall on the city end. This is the 44th over. Marshall still has 4 overs to bowl. Goes out mid-off, and 50 for Mike Gatting. Not been without its scary moments between the wickets, but he's played some lovely shots and shown good defence. Exactly what England needed. 50 not out from just 85 balls faced. Pringle to take strike to Courtney Walsh. In the air, Richardson is the fielder. There's a fielder there, Gus Logie, but not even Logie can cut that off. It's beautifully clipped away.
Richards, of course, was really always a quickie short. He had just the 3 quickies, and he wasn't quite sure when to use Malcolm Marshall, whether to give him a new ball and try and go for a couple of wickets, or save him for the middle and later part of the innings when he might need somebody with experience. As it was, England got off to a flying start, which always put the bowlers under pressure.
This partnership worth 39. Pringle's played his part in that. He's on 18. Complete what's been an extremely good match for him. Well, that's the way to buy yourself a run. What you do is you get a slow Yorker, you dig it out and play it back to the bowler. More than the Yorker, you go a yard down and tempt him. Can't hit because you're in the way, and there's the dividend. There's a great shot from Gatting. The gully was square, just failed to get a hand to it. Deep extra cover failed to get a hand to it. One of the shots of the day.
Mike Gatting, very powerful square of the wicket on either side, either on the leg side or the offside, and really when he gets onto those, even if third man has only to go about 10 yards, he has no chance of getting it.
What a way to bring the 200 up. Good all-round effort by everybody on the England side today. They bowled well, they fielded well, they weren't rattled when Phil Simmons in particular threatened to run amok. There's a man who might have changed the whole complexion of the game with his blazing approach, but 13 runs and then the marvellous catch by Embury. Oh, and there's a lovely shot from Gatting. Hit with great authority. Richards now calling everybody in really a forlorn gesture, but at least England will have to hit through or over the top rather than just pick them off in singles. A slip's going in. The sweeper, Gus Logie's been brought into backward point. Everybody closing in to stop the single. 2-1-5 for 4. Well, the crowd getting impatient, but another Yorker, that might be it. It's through the covers, and that's it. Gatting completes the proceedings with a 4 through the covers, taking him to 82. England get home by 6 wickets. And with 2 overs to spare.
So it was all over with time to spare, and it's an impressive scorecard, is it not? Gooch 43 and Broad 35. The solid start, but the skipper, Mike Gatting, really saw it through despite a hiccup here and there. 82 not out, a fine captain's innings. It's always difficult in the field for the West Indians. Not sure if Viv Richards had quite the armoury he wanted, but still, the faster bowlers, tall men digging the ball in, got much less effect from the pitch than the England medium pacers. But Malcolm Marshall, what a class performer. 11 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 32. Fine bowling by him. The result was an England win in this first round of 3 for the Texaco Trophy, a win by 6 wickets. They take £4,000 at this stage. It's very comfortable indeed. And the man of the match was Gladstone Small. He was appointed or nominated by Dennis Amiss. And the West Indies have